My name is Michael League, and I love J. Ross TV.
What's up, y'all? This your boy J. Ross in St. Louis, 10 million strong. Once again, hanging out with my cat, Mike League, bass player and music director for his band Snarky Puppy. Y'all, they in St. Louis at the Gramophone, and they are killing. But hey, Mike, let's get right to it. I was just thinking, man, now you guys travel. You was in Wichita last night, St. Louis tonight, Chicago tomorrow. How is it? How much you have to put into growing your brand, your band, as you know, getting it out there so people know who you are and all that?
Well, I mean, we built this band on the idea that the best way for people to know about it is to play live in their cities. You know, so we made a point to play in as many different places, big or small, as we possibly can, you know, while still somewhat staying sane.
Right. Hey, so like, you play different venues. Do you have, like, you pull the music out your head to satisfy, say, a particular crowd?
I mean, we try to definitely go with the flow at a gig, you know what I mean? We feel out the room, the way the room sounds and the way that the crowd is reacting, and we choose songs and maybe, you know, adjust the way that we're playing accordingly, but it's nothing unnatural or unorganic. It's just, we're just, you know, playing to the environment.
So if I rolled up in my cowboy hat and boots and go, yeah,
maybe
you come up with something, I'm like.
Maybe.
Once again, y'all in St. Louis, Snarky Puppy in town, man. But as you grow, Mike, like bands that's coming up now, you know, you guys are already well on your way. What kind of advice can you give to them about stick to it, don't give up, and adhere to the leadership?
Yeah, well, I mean, what you just said is dead on, which is that, like, you have to stick with it. You can't give up. I mean, it took 6 years for this band to get to a point where people even knew what it was. You know what I mean? And I mean, most bands don't last 6 years. So we're in our 8th year, and for the first 6 of that, no one had ever heard of us.
Right.
So I would say that persistence, perseverance, diligence, you know, those are the most important things. You know, you got to keep it together. You got to be socially as a band. You have to get along, you know, despite your differences as people or whatever. And you have to stick with it because it takes a long time for anyone to find out who you are.
Right.
You know, it takes time. I think everything worth anything takes time.
Yeah. So, Mike, you look in the mirror, you say to yourself, man, I'm a white boy, but I'm funky as I'll get out. Hey, Mike, where you get that funk from?
Never
man?
said that.
But when you, all right, you funky now. Where it come from, man?
Thank you, Jake. Man, you know, I grew up like most suburban white kids, I think. But
what, Tupac and Lil Wayne, all that?
No, I'm still with Nirvana and Pearl Jam. But you know, when I went to college, I grew up, you know, in that environment. My parents listened to a lot of James Brown and Stevie Wonder and stuff, so I heard it growing up. But when I went to college in Texas, it was like after college that I started playing on this music scene with guys like Bernard Wright and Bobby Sparks and Spot C. Wright and Sean Martin and all of these really, you know, really incredible musicians who were a little older than me and came from black culture, you know, and were primarily gospel, R&B, and jazz players, you know. So from playing with them every night for 3 or 4 years, I think, you know, it's just natural to be influenced by things. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a funk bass player.
Right.
You know, I don't know what I would call it, but there's definitely a lot of Dallas in me.
Yeah. Well, last question, Big Mike. Now, you like that Fender. Why Fender?
You know, I played a lot of different basses, and that's the first bass that I ever played that just sounded like the way that I hear bass in my head.
Yeah.
You know, it's got bump, like it's got booty, but it's clear.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, old vintage Fenders, the amount of care that went into making those, you know, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, just like, you know, it's unparalleled. I love the sound. It's a classic sound, too. You know, it's the music that it was being played on the music that I grew up listening to, like James Jamerson on all those Marvin Gaye, Timmy Tyrell, you know, Motown records. Like, that's what I grew up listening to, so that's why I relate to it. All
right, y'all, we in St. Louis, Snarky Puppy, y'all. Get that Facebook information so folks can look you up and buy T-shirts and all kind of stuff.
We're on Facebook at facebook.com/snarkypuppy. We're on Twitter at @RealSnarkyPuppy, and our website's snarkypuppy.com. But YouTube is probably the best way to find out what you need to know.
All right, y'all, that's Big Mike League, y'all. Bass player, founder, chief cook and bottle washer, Snarky Puppy Band, y'all. We're gonna let them roll. We out, y'all. J. Ross, 10 million strong. We gone. Peace.
Thanks, Jack.